It was a season that almost never happened.
I actually took a photo of my seat at the last home game because I honestly thought I'd never see it again.
It was a season that began in total disarray.
At the time, I didn't realise just the level of insanity that was going on around us, to be honest with you.
It was a season that was like no other for Rangers.
The long road back starts here, and it's been a long road to Peterhead, Rangers' first ever opponents in the third division.
It was a season of adversity and great difficulty, but in the end it was a season of triumph and of victory against all that was thrown against the club. It was the initial step on the road to where Rangers belong. It was the first part of the journey. Rangers had endured the worst year in its long and illustrious history. Mismanagement had led to instability within Ibrox, which culminated in it being plunged into administration on Valentine's Day 2012. The team managed to secure second place in the league, despite a points deduction, but the summer months had more troubles in store. The club was taken over in May by Charles Green and his consortium, but despite their best efforts in trying to obtain a CVA in order to bring Rangers out of administration, all attempts failed and liquidation was inevitable. Most feared the worst for the club's future. Many claimed the 140-year history had met its end, but the history and assets were transferred to a new holding company, and Rangers had the opportunity to live on and rebuild. The SFA imposed several sanctions, and the Light Blues were demoted to the bottom tier of Scottish football. And to add to the woes, the vast majority of the first-team players claimed they hadn't transferred their contracts over and left the club. Only a handful of first-teamers returned to the training complex to begin the new season.
We had 6 players turn up for pre-season training. Couldn't play a pre-season game. Cancelled 3 tours, I think it was Austria, Switzerland, and because we didn't have a licence to play.
It's one of the most surreal, close seasons and pre-seasons undoubtedly I've ever had. Not knowing when we're coming, what date we're coming back in, not knowing who's coming back in, not knowing if we've got a team to come back and play with. We didn't know if we could sign somebody, we didn't know where we'd be playing, we didn't know whether we were allowed to play or not. Shambles.
All the thoughts, are we going to have a club? Am I going to come back in August to see like the team I love, all my friends love? Is that going to happen? The thought of actually waking up one day and it not being there, scared myself, scared millions of people.
As the end of the summer approached, the future of the club hung in the balance. Relegated to the third division with a decimated playing squad, a transfer embargo until September 2013, and still no licence to play.
We're due to play Brechin in 36 hours, 48 hours before the game. We've not got a licence to play Brechin in the cup. It was just, you know, at the time I didn't realise just the level of insanity that was going on around us, to be honest with you.
I've got a seat up in the club deck, and I actually took a photo of my seat at the last home game because I honestly thought I'd never see it again. It was absolutely terrifying.
It was a last-minute scramble, but at the 11th hour, a deal was agreed and the SFA membership that allowed Rangers to play was granted.
I think in 10, 15, 20 years you'll look back and you'll just laugh about how badly dealt with it's all been, and people should actually be embarrassed about how unorganised and how people can't just get a decision and make a decision, but you just want to go and play football, but we weren't even knowing if we were allowed to do that.
At that particular time it was just chaos, it was chaotic. You know, not knowing whether we could travel up to Brechin to play the game and things like that. Was, you know, when you look back now, it's kind of seems so long ago and so far-fetched, but believe me, it happened.
Manager Ali McCoist had the unenviable task of putting together a team from the few loyal first-team players that had returned and a number of youth players promoted from the ranks of the training academy to take on Brechin in the first round of the Ramsden's Cup.
I had about 11 weeks then really where I was off, out of contract, and didn't really know what I was going to do. Obviously it was up in the air with the leagues, but when I did finally sign, it was the total opposite. 11 weeks of waiting, and then it was just 3 days later thrown into the first game. And I started that obviously and played into extra time, so it was a really I don't think it'll ever happen again. It was really strange circumstances.
And the Brechin game was that was an experience in itself. Just even a couple of days before that, nobody was sure we were going to get to play that game, and just the feeling of enjoyment seeing a Rangers team run out on that pitch was you could feel that from everybody in the ground.
Black is a very late one. It's a late run from Andy Little. Chance for the opener! Rangers get the opener indeed. 4 minutes on the clock. Advantage Rangers, and Andy Little slots the ball home. McCulloch threads it through. The home defence post admitting. And Andy Little lifts his head and picks his spot. Broadfoot stretching. Goyan has to hold off Jackson. Jackson slots it home. Well, a bit of a mix-up between Broadfoot and Goyan. Brechin City bring everyone back inside the 18-yard box. Goyan's got something on it, it's in the net! It may well be Lee McCulloch's goal. Rangers get their nose in front. Ali McCoist claps in acknowledgement. It was all about the quality of delivery. Young Lewis McLeod with the corner. Rangers show real desire as it's whipped in there. Lee McCulloch with a header. Handshakes all round as Rangers book their place in the Ramsden's Cup second round.
The turnout that day, fans were brilliant. The support has just brought us through. I think the fans are closer together themselves. They're closer to the players, and the players are showing a respect and a sort of togetherness. We're all desperate to try and get the club back to where it should be, and the backing for the fans has been massive.
It was not the ideal start to the new campaign, but the win was greeted with great delight by everyone. It had seemed for some time that Rangers might not even have made it this far.
To score after 4 minutes was awesome, and a great thing, something I'll always remember. I think it's got to be up there, even with Mo Firm goal for me personally, because it was such a special moment for the club with all the uncertainty to get back to playing, to score after 4 minutes, although we weren't actually entirely convincing in the game, the rest of the game, but to get that goal at the start was awesome.
It was always going to be tough, because when you turn up with 6 players, pre-season, you've got to draft, 10 of the young players in, and then you buy foreigners who don't speak the language and things like that. It was always going to be a tough start to the season, and it proved to be.
And the Rangers' loyal support continued to flock to the ticket centre to snap up season tickets and show their undying support for the club they love.
Looking forward to it, really looking forward to it. Seeing them last weekend there on the telly was it's a new start, it's a new beginning, and hopefully keep the Rangers history going and start a new legacy at Rangers, and I just can't wait for it.
The main thing is the fans get in there, buy the season ticket, get the money into Ibrox so that they can build, get the players, get their finances in order, and look forward to the future.
The figure continued to rise over the first few weeks of the season, eventually rising to over 38,000. An incredible show of solidarity from the fans, who were delighted to still have the opportunity to go and support the greatest team in the world. The manager was able, at last, to shore up his threadbare squad with a few welcome new arrivals. In came Dean Shields, Kevin Kyle, Emilson Kribari, Francisco Sandaza, Sebastian Faure and Ian Black. Thousands packed into Ibrox for the first home game of the season as Rangers defeated East 5-4-0 in the first round of the League Cup.
It's the only time probably we actually cried at a game. You're stood there waiting, the crowds are building up, and then suddenly I think I might not have seen some of my pals that all sit around me in the eastern closure, look around, and there they are, they're all there. And you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know what team's going to come out, what the line-up's going to be. But eventually when the game kicked off, and then the noise, that noise is something that will probably stay with me.
In the first game, came at Ibrox against East Fife. It was great to see so many of the fans turn out that night, and create a great atmosphere. When the Penny Arcade tune started up just before the match, it was electric. It was almost like an Old Firm game. It felt like, and it was just fantastic to be there.
You could feel that the fans were just raring to go, and they were delighted to have football back at Ibrox again, which they might have doubted at some stages over the summer. So I think it was Probably relief as much as anything, but also just people just busting to get back out, and whether it was singing and celebrating or whatever it was, and for us to play again at Ibrox was brilliant.
No matter what's happened over the turmoil over the summer, we're still here, and for me it was amazing. Just great to be back. The Bears were back, and you know, that makes me proud and very happy.
Nice ball to Shields, a chance to run at this defence, tries to slide it through, a chance for McCulloch! And that's the opening goal! Forward to Shields. Barry Mackay's on the left-hand side, gets the pass from McCulloch. Mackay heading towards the penalty area. Little ball through, Shields! And he scored! Dean Shields scores on his Rangers debut. Barry Mackay comes away with it, and now Ian Black. Lovely pass to Barry Mackay. A chance to run at this East 5 defence, the youngster. He's got to go himself, he's got no support. Little ball inside, it might come to Shields! Oh, a brilliant save there by Michael Brown. Oh, the follow-up from Lee Wallace. Slams the ball into the net. With an hour played at Ibrox, it's Rangers 3, East 5-0. And they're looking very good in their lead. Another chance here, McCulloch! Oh, that was beautiful stuff. What a fantastic ball through there from Barry Mackay. Then it was the first of many long journeys to the northeast coast for the opening game of the SFL3 season in Peterhead. Again, fans turned out in their droves, an occurrence that would be repeated at every venue throughout the season.
We're walking to the ground from the wee hotel with a few drinks. There's people out in the streets lining up, actually clapping and wishing us all the best. Now, could you imagine that, walking through Glasgow, getting cheered on by the opposition or the other teams in Scotland, you know? But all the Peterhead fans, the locals, were fantastic with us, couldn't have made us more welcome. They knew we were Rangers fans, there was no kind of animosity whatsoever, and you know, you think this is going to be a fun season ahead, yeah.
Let the journey commence for Rangers. McCulloch, and Barry Mackay is in, and Mackay scores! The journey starts here. Rangers' first goal in the bottom division of Scottish football. Cowie. Callister. Another opportunity. He takes it this time. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Memories are made of this. Peterhead are level against Rangers. Well, it's Ryan Strachan to take this corner. Alexander got something on it. But McLaughlin has rammed it back in. This is extraordinary. This is Peterhead 2, Rangers 1. Who'd have thought of it? Shields takes it. Everyone's piling in. Kevin Kyle's header, and it's gone in. Andy Little might have got something on that as well. But much to Rangers' relief, they've saved the day. Just
to lose that game would have been a bit embarrassing, to be honest, and yeah, it was a bit of a scrappy one. Kyler came on, made instant impact, great header, and you know, luckily I got a wee touch on the line. But I think that was more. It was more just to spare our blushes more than anything. But I think it also gave us a great wake-up call as to how tough the league was going to be.
The fans wanted to send a message that the Rangers were still one of the biggest teams in the world. And they did that on the 18th of August as East Stirlingshire were the visitors, and over 49,000 fans packed into Ibrox to watch a superb win.
A chance for East Stirling though, and they've been given a penalty. And they are 1-0 up. East Stirling leads. Rangers still attacking. Here's Sandaza. He runs now for Little. Chance to score. And there's the equaliser! 14 minutes gone. Andy Little with his third goal of the season. Oh, Andy Little. And there it is. It's a goal which puts Rangers 2-1 up. Here comes the corner from Ian Black. In it comes, looking for Bocanegra. He's not there, but Doran Goyan is. Good save, not quite scrambled away yet. Oh, blocked on the line again. Surely in, this time it is from Fran Sandaza. And there is the first goal of his Rangers career. Now Little releases Mackay down the right-hand side. Again, two men doubling up on him. Cross first time, that's a lovely ball. Must be for Little, there's the hat-trick. Lovely Little dink over. McCulloch takes in the chest, up against McWilliams, and there is the fifth from Lee McCulloch in injury time.
I ran off celebrating, and then it dawned on me that it was a hat-trick, and it was an unbelievable feeling. Probably right up there with anything I've done at the club, just because it's sort of a really special personal achievement, and that was brilliant, and obviously a good convincing win. That really meant an awful lot to me.
They followed that up with an away win in the Ramsdens Cup over Falkirk, Andy Little getting the only goal of the game. A number of first-team players left to continue their careers elsewhere. Dori Goyan and Carlos Bocanegra were allowed to go out on loan, while Kirk Broadfoot and Maurice Edu left for pastures new. Sadly, the away day troubles continued as the team could only muster a 1-1 draw with Berwick Rangers, and a lacklustre display left the fans and management disappointed.
As it's played in, McCulloch round the back, it must be an is! Right on half-time. Rangers have the breakthrough, and it's that man again, Andrew Little, who cannot stop scoring at the moment.
Bryden from the back for Berwick. Did well. Keep it going, Curry's pass. Now the substitute, McLaren for Berwick! It's sensational! A goal for the Weegers. 17 minutes into the second half, and it comes from Fraser McLaren just minutes after coming on. Lee Curry with the corner here for Berwick and Townsley, but it's not going to count. Mike Tumblety had blown his whistle before Townsley made contact with the ball.
Looking back on that, I think we were probably quite lucky to get away with that. Again, that was just another reinforced the fact that this league wasn't going to be as easy as maybe some people might have thought.
That meant Rangers lay in fourth, behind Elgin, Peterhead and Clyde. But the team responded in style, defeating Falkirk 3-0 in the League Cup. It was the debut of Sebastian Faure and provided the 8th goal for Andy Little, as well as a double for McCulloch. After the departure of Bocanegra on loan to Racing Santander, there was only one man who was the natural choice for the captaincy, Lee McCulloch. Jig was one of the first to pledge his future to Rangers during the summer, and his loyalty and leadership was rightly rewarded.
To be made captain was brilliant. Everybody knows what I think about the club and how passionate I am and how serious I'll take the armband, and brilliant feeling, one of the best days of my life.
Elgin City were the visitors to Ibrox for his first game as captain. It was also the first chance for the fans to see new signing David Templeton. The skillful midfielder was snapped up in the dying hours of the transfer window, and he penned a 4-year deal.
I just played down at Anfield, and next day I was signing here, and obviously I knew the first game was 2 days later. So it was obviously massive, amazing for me to sign here in the first place, and then to start in my first game at Ibrox in front of 50,000, it was something special, and obviously all my family were happy for me, and a few of them came to the game, and it was one of the best days of my life. Basically, it was unbelievable walking out in front of 50,000 to simply the best. It was unbelievable.
Nicholson waiting. Oh, it's a missed kick by Craig Gunn. Disappointing. Fresh air effort following the Moore corner. Chance to atone for Gunn. It's neat and tidy from Elgin. And how about that? A goal for Elgin City. That gives it back to Argiriou. And McCulloch and Shields. 1-1. And it had been coming. Dean Shields, an emphatic finish. Ross O'Donoghue getting back quickly to help out the defenders. Ian Black, and Templeton steadies himself. David Templeton, in his Rangers debut, makes it count. Just the way Templeton wanted to start with his new club. Moving away was McLeod. It's commanding midfield play by the youngster. Shields. Templeton. Oh, it's a good deflection. Then finished off. Lee McCulloch scores a milestone goal, the 100th of his club career. And it gives Rangers a bit of important breathing space on the stroke of half-time. Shields with it. Missed by everyone. Templeton has done it again. A two-goal contribution in his first match wearing the Rangers colours. And surely now, no way back for Elgin City. The home games for Rangers should by and large look after themselves. It's the trips to some of the difficult away venues that might be troublesome. Have been so far. Shields disguising the pass. Little. McCulloch. He scores again. As Rangers make it 5. He's wearing the captain's armband with pride. Lee McCulloch. He goes over to thank Andrew Little for his contribution.
Rangers away jinx struck again as they failed to breach Annan's goal and dropped points on the road for the third consecutive game. And to add to the manager's woes, new signing Templeton was stretchered off with an ankle injury after only 10 minutes.
As Rangers now look to capitalise. David Templeton's got a late clip there though. The game continues. Black shut down by Swinglehurst. McLeod's got a late one as well. Ramage falling through on the young Rangers midfielder, but the big problem could be David Templeton.
It was obviously disappointing. Even worse, it was only 8 minutes. If it was 8 minutes, then I might have been able to do something to get a win. But I think it was like my first touch of the ball, and obviously took a bad one, my ankle, and kept us out for 10 weeks. So after the highs of the week before, to go to that and be out for 10 weeks was gutting.
Things didn't improve in the cup competitions as eventual winners Queen of the South put Rangers out of the Ramsdens Cup, despite goals from youngster Barry Mackay and captain Lee McCulloch. With the business now gaining a little more stability, new deals were struck with some of the young stars, and Lee Wallace's loyalty was rewarded with a new 5-year deal.
It's been great, and again, just happy enough to sign the deal. It's got me a bit of long-term security, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm enjoying the adventure we're going on.
The next game was special for the manager as he celebrated his 50th birthday. But it was all business on the day as Montrose gave as good as they got in a difficult encounter.
Perry unchallenged, looks for McCulloch. Gets a touch, Shields might just get there. He's got it all to do though. Wonderful footwork! Stunning goal! A stunning goal from the Magherafelt magician. So it's Ricky McIntosh. Again, really into the mix, and it's in the net. I'm not sure that Argiriou knew much about it. Now McLeod, Argiriou and 4 both options, and they combine. McLeod, a great touch from Lewis McLeod. He drives it home! Lewis McLeod, inspirational goal from Rangers. McCulloch goes long! Good refereeing. Lee McCulloch makes it 10 for the season. Aird threads it in there for the movement of Wallace. They cut back there. Robbie Crawford! A sensational finish from Robbie Crawford.
That win put the Light Blues just 1 point off the top of the table. Another superb win at home came just 3 days later as the top team in the SPL came calling. Motherwell were on a great run of form, but Rangers were quick out of the traps, and goals from McCulloch and Shields silenced a lot of critics.
Taken quickly, knocked in, there's a chance, McCulloch! They Jigster makes it the opener. Rangers get their nose in front. The former Motherwell man. A precision header. 39 on the clock. Rangers 1, Motherwell 0. Here's Argiriou. Motherwell are shredded at the moment. Oh! A stunning finish. Dean Shields. It's 2-0 Rangers. And Motherwell at the moment rabbits in headlights.
Progress was also made in the Scottish Cup when Cal Naismith, making his senior debut, got the only goal of the game to defeat Forest Mechanics. Sadly, the winning streak didn't last long, as the team were defeated at Stirling Albion 1-0 in a game that clearly illustrated that the Rangers team still had a long way to go.
It was a scrappy game. They made it congested in the middle of the park for us, and then they've nicked a goal with a bad set piece. So after that game, I think reality kicked in, and it's not going to be the fairy tale journey that maybe the fans, the players, and everybody thought. That's reality's kicked in now. Come on, boys, we need to step up here and win this title.
Rangers returned to winning ways with a hard-fought 2-0 victory over Queen's Park in front of 49,463 fans at Ibrox, a new world record for a fourth-tier match. It was the result that took Rangers to the top of the division, where they stayed for the rest of the season.
The atmosphere, just everything about the day, it was something a bit different, and knowing that the fans were going to break that world record. It was just good, and there was no way we could, after getting beat with Stirling the week before, there's no way we could have not won that game.
Shields again combining with Little. Better from Dean Shields, driving into the danger area. Needs a good cut back! 1-0 Rangers! Lee McCulloch keeps a dramatic and magnificent Ibrox record going. Barry Mackay! Oh, he's crashed off the woodwork. Lee McCulloch! We've left it late, but it is 2-0.
That game meant loads to me as well. Big Davy Weir was in director's box, he was up, and I managed to get 2 goals and gave him a wee wave, so he told me he was delighted after that.
Away days had been a real headache for Ali in the early part of the season, and to finally break the cycle of draws at Broadwood Stadium with a 2-0 win was a great relief. It didn't take long for the opener to come, and this cracker from Shields was one of the goals of the season.
By McCulloch for Shields. Oh, what a brilliant goal! Exquisitely executed by Dean Shields, and Rangers have an early lead as they look for that elusive away win in Division 3.
There is nothing on here for Dean Shields. He just takes a slight step to his right, and it's measured, this shot. There's no real power in it at all. This is all down to accuracy.
Here's Hegarty. Ian Black and Lee McCulloch. And that should be that. Today's the day for Rangers' first away win in the 3rd division.
Hegarty here just picks it up, and Black knows he's going to play it in long. He does well to keep it in. Bartlett can't do anything about it. It's a simple tap-in the end for Lee McCulloch.
That was our first away win of the season. We always knew that we could do it. It's just going out and proving we could do it. Getting the goal away from home and kicking on. Wee things like that can be turning points of a season. I think that has been for us.
I think we went 10 or 11 on a bounce wins away from home after the Clyde game at Broadwood, and that's obviously, I think, set the tone for the season.
That second win in a row kept Rangers in the top spot as they found form at the right time and eventually went on a 12-game unbeaten run in the league that confirmed their superiority. Progress was being made in the Scottish Cup also, with an emphatic 7-0 win over 2nd Division Alloa, and it produced a standout performance from young Barry Mackay. It was back to league business after the short break, but before the game with Peterhead, Ibrox was delighted to welcome members of Her Majesty's Armed Forces to help commemorate Remembrance Day in style. A magnificent poppy display by the fans was topped off with abseiling from the Govan stand, and an impeccably observed minute silence finished with an impressive bang.
That's probably my highlight of the season, I think, because my brother was on the pitch that day, and just I think it was the stadium was packed. It was just I think it was a fantastic occasion. So it was definitely a highlight of my season so far.
Free header! The skipper delivers. Just as we said, pre-match, Lindsay. If there's set plays, you can guarantee he wants to keep the scoring run going.
The brave men and women of the armed forces got their moment in the spotlight at half-time, with 300 of them taking to the pitch to salute the respect shown by the Ibrox crowd.
Well, variation. Lee Wallace! Very clever football from Rangers, and pays a super dividend. And who better with a killer blow than Lee Wallace? McLeod with a simple delivery, and Wallace just threads it home. It's Rangers 2, Peterhead 0.
I said to the wife, who'd never been here before, I'll take you to Ibrox. We decided we'd come up, and we came for the Peterhead game. An inspired choice, should we say. The wife and my son were absolutely amazed, especially with the gun firing off down to our right there. It was just basically fantastic. It really was, and the poppy display and the Union flags and the servicemen on the field. It was immense. It really was.
A very special occasion, obviously winning the game and that, but I think the day was all about them, and you know, I spoke to some of my brother's mates and all after the game, and you know, they were just happy to be there, you know, to be on the pitch at half time. They were over the moon, and you know, fair play to everything them guys have done, because you know, I've been in a situation where you know, I don't know what's going to happen to my brother and that, and you know, fair play to them guys for doing what they do, and you know, it's just all respect goes to them. Like,
it was the first time in the season that the team had notched up 3 in a row, and the performances kept coming with an emphatic win at Ochilview.
Shields tries to go beyond McKernan there. McKernan sticks to the task. Shields squares it for McLeod, and it's scooped away. A penalty awarded. Yeah. 11 minutes on the clock. And the Rangers fans behind keeper Hayes' goal as Lee McCulloch from the spot. Goal, Rangers! Lee McCulloch does the necessary again. It's Easterling 0, Rangers 1. Oh, there's a decent ball in there for Andy Little. Fancies it from distance. It's a second. It took a deflection. And over Hay, who was off his goal line. Wonderful delivery from Argiriou in the first instance. After the layoff from Kevin Kyle, Shields and Little chase it. Little gets the good connection. It takes a deflection. It lofts over the goalkeeper. It's Shire 0, Rangers 2. Well, certainly working through the gears now is Lee Wallace with a clever step over shooting chance. Oh, he scores! Lee Wallace makes it Shire 1, Rangers 3, his 5th Rangers goal.
I think Ali may be thinking of a substitution at this time, Tom, just to brighten things up. You know, you've got Crawford there, you've got Fraser Aird, somebody in the wide that can go and take men on. Young Mackay's done well, but he's fallen out of the game a wee bit.
Clever turn from Dean Shields. Andy Little, tap in for Kyle. Rangers get their 4th, and Kevin Kyle gets his first goal in 23 months. Wallace now for Black. He indicates where he wants Barry Mackay to go, and he does. He drives into that edge of the 18-yard box as he got cut back. Naismith! That's the way to make an introduction. It's Shire 2, Rangers 5, 20 minutes of the match remaining. Carl Naismith delivers. Good take again, Mackay. Suggestions of a handball, and indeed the penalty is awarded. Jackson uses a hand to control the lofted delivery from Barry Mackay, and Lee McCulloch has an opportunity to make it 6. Knocks it home. It's Shire 2, Rangers 6, and a double for Lee McCulloch.
Legendary manager Walter Smith returned to Ibrox as a non-executive director, and was delighted to be back involved at the club he always loved.
You know, Charles Green asked me if I would come back and join the board. At first, I wasn't too sure, because when you've been a manager, I'm not too sure about, you know, sitting in a boardroom. The only kind of board contact that I'd had previously was give a manager's report at board meetings and things like that, and then go out. And then Charles kept coming back and saying, come on, you know, you need to come on board and help us. And I think that's the main thing. He was keen and felt that I could have an input from his point of view that would help the club. And that was the main thing, you know, more than anything else.
And finally, after years of uncertainty, the EBT tax case finally came to an end when the court ruled in favour of Rangers. Things remained the same at the top of the table, and it looked as though a few teams were trying to keep pace with Rangers, but a flawless December would see McCoist's men prove their dominance in the third division. The 8th of December was a special day for everyone at the club. After an 18 months of turmoil, the light blue faithful were delighted to be able to join in the celebrations of Rangers' glorious 140-year history. And it was made special by the parading at half-time of some of the club's greatest players.
Alan McLaren, Charlie Miller, John Gray.
After the break, it was up to the current crop of players to prove themselves and continue the 4-game unbeaten run.
Good play by Kyle Hutton. Very determined play by Hutton. This is better. Now a Shields to drive at Stirling's defence, which they find the reverse gear, the cut back from Mackay! It's in the net, it's David Templeton! David Templeton, that urgency we were looking for, that change of pace, provided first of all by Mackay, and the finish from Templeton, absolutely exquisite. Oh, Wallace has done well, he's played it over the top for Mackay, in for Andy Little. Is there a second? There certainly is. Counter-attacking football of the finest variety ever. All about the delivery from Wallace to release Barry Mackay. Mackay lifts his head, plays it central, and Andy Little on hand to slide the ball home for his 10th of the season.
Absolutely fantastic, you know, it was great to see all the old stars and really made my day today, you know.
The crowd were fabulous, really. The roars that were going on in the park, it was like scoring cup final winning goals, it was terrific. Support are superb, they've been terrific all season, back in the team, and of course this was just icing on the cake, seeing all the old time stars of different eras, and it worked a treat, it was great.
It was an absolutely brilliant day, it was a good way to celebrate history, it was a hard fought victory as well, the team did quite well, Barry Mackay was a standout today, Templeton, good to see him come back from injury as well and doing quite well as well. Overall it was good, it's a great day out.
You always want to, come through that tunnel, you can always feel the atmosphere, and you feel the thrill and the way it tickles down your back, and looking forward to getting out on the pitch. But it's always good, to come back and to always to be enjoyful with the club and support them, and obviously for a big occasion like this, which is the 140th anniversary, which is a great thing. So it's always good to be back, to celebrate that.
That was amazing. Really enjoyed it. To back out, I just wish I had my boots on. It would have been good to get the boots on.
This is my life, my friend. This Rangers Football Club, apart from my family, Rangers Football Club, that's it. Again, and that's all I can say.
Normally you would think if a club relegate to the third division, the supporters will stay away. But on the other hand, how the supporters are here in Scotland, and especially Rangers. So at that point it doesn't surprise me, and it makes me also proud, and then I can say I played for that club.
Things were looking up off the field as well, as the flotation on the stock exchange went well, ultimately raising £22 million, with over £5 million coming from the fans themselves. The feel-good factor continued through December, and the team notched up one win after another.
Long throw, oh, it's in! A late run into the middle of the goal by Lloyd Young. Flick by Kyle. This is Templeton, brought down from behind. Only one outcome. It's Lee McCulloch from the penalty spot against Sandy Wood. 1-1 at Links Park. Rangers back on terms, and he may be playing in central defence, but Lee McCulloch still with that eye for goal. Goal number 17 of the season. The Rangers players now getting in each other's way. Shields, Kevin Kyle! Well, they were falling over each other to set up Kevin Kyle, who found himself as free as a bird in the penalty area. It's Winter's free kick. It's nicely won by Hutton, who launches Barry Mackay. Shields making the run up front. Mackay finds Shields. Chance for Shields. 3-1. Quick fire salvo by Rangers. Looks as though it's put the game beyond Montrose now. That's the first touch from McLeish. Might get another one here as well. Nicely done. There is a shot and it's in the net. Well, how about that? Just when you think that Montrose are done. It's Carl Naismith wide, Barry Mackay, round McNally, Mackay, great save, falls for Crawford, Robert Crawford to finish it, off the post and in.
Templeton, will it set up? Oh, it certainly does! David Templeton rifles Rangers in front. 28 minutes on the clock. It's Rangers 1 and 0. Knocked in again by Jardine, and again it's a timely run and a penalty awarded. Lee Wallace pushing on the flighted ball. They're down in the heat goes Jack Steele, and from a long way away from the underhead cap. Here's Chaplin, and saved by Alexander. Not once but twice on the follow through from Daly. Templeton with the ball, sliding in Andy Little. Has he got the angle? He does too! That's the best way to answer any questionable decisions. Andy Little pops it into the back of the net. Templeton drives at the heart of their defence. He's created the angle. Oh, stunning goal! David Templeton at the double. Take a bow, son. He did it all himself. He had patience in abundance, he had technique galore, and the finish was quite simply magnificent. Rangers start to build it from the back yet again. Barry Mackay. Templeton picks it up. Loses Paul Harton's clever ball, there is no offside flag. Andy Little 1-1, he just needs to squeeze it home! That's the opener! Andy Little goes large in 4 minutes. Elgin City 0, Rangers 1. Now a chance for David Templeton. Can he get there? Yes, he can. He may have lost the angle, needs a cut back. Second of the day for Andy Little. Little at the double. Rangers lead restored. 23 on the clock. City 1, Rangers 2. Hutton, Andy Little powers into the box. Cut back from McCulloch. Can he finish? He certainly can! What a goal that is! Well, we're having an embarrassment of riches this afternoon just prior to Christmas. Clever ball for Templeton. Templeton into McCulloch. He's got a shooting chance! Lee McCulloch at the double! We've played an hour at Borough Breaks. 2 for Little, 2 for McCulloch, 2 for City, but 4 for Rangers. Oh, a great touch from Templeton. Backtracking to really good effect though was David Niven. As Rangers pick her up again through the twins, McLeod and Mackay. Templeton, he just tried to open it out. Lewis McLeod! Well, if anyone deserves a goal for his performances in the last 2 games, it had to be Lewis McLeod. Now Barry Mackay, chance to drive it, Beveridge. So a wee drag back to keep possession. Wants Wallace to give him some options, and he does. Barry Mackay again, linking with Wallace. Wallace got on the weight, son, he says to the Elgin defender. Is Kyle Hutton! Oh, he smashes it home! Kyle Hutton's first senior goal, and what a way to do it! Wonderful vision. Here's Lee Wallace! 1-0 Rangers! Lee Wallace! Wallace down that flank. It's great feet again from Templeton. Oh, what a goal! What a stunning goal from David Templeton. Fans have been fantastic, very vocal today. It's Dean Shields! That's the third. Dean Shields makes it 10 in his Rangers career.
It's the Christmas Glasgow derby, but not the one we've kind of got used to over the years. Mackay's corner, over the head of Sandaza. Fraser Ed. Oh, he's found a way to goal! Fraser Ed may well have made it 10 wins out of 10 for Rangers, but that is so cruel on Queen's Park in injury time after a tremendous effort from the amateurs.
Oh, I won't forget it. Still on cloud 9, to be honest. I think I had 2 shots before I ended up having a shot that went in. So just went on, impacted the game, and I think I could only have done the best I could have, and went on, scored, and got the 3 points for the team.
A superb unbeaten run cemented Rangers in that #1 slot that wouldn't be relinquished all season. The 15-point gap showed that despite the chaos that had surrounded the club, the team had produced the goods in the first half of the season and laid the foundation for a successful campaign. A new year, but a now familiar location, as Rangers travelled back to Annan for the first game of 2013. Last time round, he picked up an injury in just his second game for the club, but it was a happy return for David Templeton.
Rangers looking dangerous. Oh, what a touch away by the goalkeeper. Otherwise, Fran Sandaza would have had his second goal of the season. That's the closest they've come. Templeton trying to maintain some momentum, and he gets the goal. Well, he didn't enjoy his last trip here back in September. He certainly enjoyed that. He'll tell you that he's meant it as well. It's a decent ball in. Oh, and it's an equaliser. Oh, well, anything that David Templeton can do, and an Athletic can do as well. Wallace with the throw. Sandaza almost having his shirt ripped off him there. It's another decent ball in. Should drop, should be a chance, it is. Robbie Crawford puts Rangers in front for the second time. Annan 1, Rangers 2. Templeton. Black. Crawford wants it. He's got one. He's not going to go for another there, though. Decent effort, deflected and in. And that is surely the game safe now then for Rangers. Templeton claims the credit for Rangers' third.
January turned out to be a tough month, as the opposing teams relished the chance to tackle Rangers in front of crowds they normally could only dream of. And the winning run came to an end when Elgin held out at Ibrox in an encounter where the team just couldn't take their chances.
Hegarty for Andy Little, the two Ulstermen combining. In for McCulloch, it might yet fall for Lewis McLeod. Wonderful awareness, McLeod! Stunning goal from Lewis McLeod! pops it in. There's a free header in there. Neil Alexander, somehow or another, has shuffled it behind himself. Elgin City back on terms with 4 minutes of the match remaining. Rangers 1, Elgin City 1.
Drawing it home to Elgin was a disappointing result, and a reaction from the team was expected when Berwick came to Ibrox, and it was Andy Little who led the charge with one of his performances of the season.
Sandaza tries to carve an opening for himself in there. He just couldn't get the final touch. Little might, and Rangers do get the breakthrough. Sandaza looks to get the second swept in, and there it is! Andy Little again at the double. Wonderful football from Rangers. Now Sandaza with the cut back. Oh, Templeton, stunning! Stunning goal from David Templeton. Wallace, Templeton combined. Sandaza takes over. Here's Dean Shields. Now Andy Little. Difficult angle, but he makes it a hat-trick. Rangers 2-goal lead restored. Andy Little with the hat-trick.
Rangers coming forward with some purpose, with some menace again, and the goalkeeper makes the first save, but he can't deny Sandatha. Well, it's his first goal for Rangers since way back in August. Fran Sandatha.
Kyle Hutton pulling and throws away to the far side as Templeton knocks it in, and that's the one we're after. It's Andy Little with half-time approaching. The ball breaks again for Gray. Oh my goodness, what a stunning goal from Gray. And the stroke of full time when pros pull it back to one's about.
January turned out not to be as successful as the previous month, but the commanding lead at the top was still stretched to 20 points as the charge for the third division title continued. It was also a disappointing month for young midfielder Lewis McLeod, who was stretchered off with knee ligament damage during the home draw with Montrose and was unable to make a comeback until the last game of the season. As progress in the league continued, the run in the Scottish Cup came to an end at Tannadice in a game where Rangers fans stayed away in protest. After a disappointing defeat, Ali was looking for a real reaction from the players, and they duly delivered when nearest rivals Queen's Park came calling. And it was Ian Black getting his first goal of the season that got Rangers off the mark.
Mackay immediately hits the accelerator. He's gone beyond Spittle. Wonderful wing play from Barry Mackay. The cut back for Black. Ian Black gets his first Rangers goal. 50 minutes on the clock. He goes for the variation and picks out Templeton. Kyle Hutton now. Does he get the shooting chance? Dean Shields, a tap in. 2-0. Wonderful scissor goal from Rangers. Absolutely sensational football. Shields again for Wallace, powering into the final third. The cut back, surely this time. Yes, it is. Fraser Aird takes it for a bit of a meander. Tracked by Urquhart and McParland. Here's the ever reliable, the skipper. Chance for Andy Little. Can he work it out from under his feet? Yes, he can. That's a fine finish.
And the goals kept on coming as Rangers swept away Clyde with a double from Little and some sublime finishing from Templeton.
Clever touch from Little. Dean Shields has to try and shake off the attentions of the backtracking defender. In for Andy Little! Dean Shields sets up his Northern Ireland teammate, and the clinical finish from Andy Little is absolutely top drawer. Now here's Kyle Hutton. Flick from Little, he chases it himself. Backing off is Gray. Little! Stunning goal! Andy Little at the double, and you will not see a better goal this season.
It's been a good performance all round, hasn't it? Good tackle there from Argiri, who's settling into that right back slot well as Templeton comes forward.
He fancies it again. Oh my goodness! An exocet from David Templeton. You just don't save them. Swept in by Wallace. There's the header. Instinctive save from Barkley to deny Chris Hegarty. Pressure still on. Here's Templeton. Templeton drills it home. It's a double for Templeton.
The youth development this season has been invaluable, and the first team wouldn't have been able to operate without the procession of talent coming up from the youth ranks. However, they also proved their worth in this year's Reserve League, as Tommy Wilson guided the team to a memorable title. They trailed Morton for a large portion of the season, but slip-ups late on by the Greenock side gave the reserves an opportunity to win the league at Ibrox.
It's not the worst header from Gasparotto, picked up Naismith. Chance here for Fraser Air! Rangers do indeed break the deadlock. 1 minute short of the turnaround. It's been coming. And who else but the hammer of Queen's Park? And the man who got the first to take the set play, Fraser Air. Drills it in. Free header off the line. The ball had crossed the line. Look at Gasparotto, the big Canadian, doing what his countrymate Fraser Air did first period. Rangers 2, Queens 0. Well, it tells you what it means to the fans as well. Rangers reserves are crowned champions.
A successful season for the youth department was rounded off in style as Billy Kirkwood took the under-17s into the Glasgow Cup final, where they would square off against arch-rivals Celtic. The atmosphere at Firhill was electric as supporters revelled in the chance to soak up an albeit mini Old Firm clash.
Inside now to Dylan Dykes. Long raking ball looking for Ryan Hardy. He gets in ahead of his man. Chance for Hardy. It's 1-1. Rangers have scored. Ryan Hardy, fantastic response from the youngsters. The long ball from Dykes was terrific. Long ball up the park. Headed back upfield onto Hardy under a bit of pressure. Nice touch though onto Junior Ogan. He runs at the Celtic defence. He's still going, still going. It's Junior Ogan and it's 2-1 now to Rangers. What a strike from the Cameroon kid. That was a terrific effort from him, and he's mobbed by his teammates. Rangers have turned this one around in just a couple of minutes. Hardy's got it back. Lovely touch from Hardy. Gets the ball into the middle. Here's Ogan. It's 3-1 Rangers. What a strike from Ogan. That is a terrific finish.
It was the ideal way for the youth department at Auchenhowie to round off their most successful season, and coach Billy Kirkwood was delighted for the boys.
For the young boys, I think they've always got to show their mettle, and we said to them at the start of the game it was a showcase for them to show the gaffer that they're able to handle a situation where they're playing against Celtic in a cup final in front of a really healthy crowd, possibly greater than a lot of the Premier League matches that were played this weekend. So I thought our lads showed a lot of character, and Rangers and Celtic games are always like that. Somebody's going to go ahead, they'll come back, how you react to these things, and I thought over the piece, I thought we deserved to win.
It was magnificent to turn that around, going down so early, but I thought we've worked so hard to get here, and I just thought you have to keep going and just find a way to score and get your team up the pitch and in the lead.
When we got out in the pitch, there wasn't that many to warm up, but then when we came back out for the start of the kick-off, it was just amazing. The atmosphere was unbelievable. The stadium was almost full, and it was just amazing to play in.
Second time around for Rangers on English soil this season. Their last visit to Berwick in August was chock full of twists and turns. A 1-1 draw on that occasion. The third division leaders will hope to encounter a smoother stretch of road as their Scottish Football League journey continues. Dean Shields doing the wriggling. Danny He goes inside the box. That's a penalty. A spot kick it is. And Dean Shields, the man who was felled, will try to beat Mark McCallum. Here's Shields. What a piece. A swift response from Rangers. Shields. Wallace, first time ball, Little! Spectacular! Andrew Little! A massive problem for Berwick this season. It's his 5th goal against the Borderers in the current campaign, and Rangers have the lead.
Well, there was a look at offside there, but it wasn't Dean Shields. An arm went up, but 2 bits of quality. First one here, because that's a wonderful ball. The second one from Little, but what Little does as well, he could easily make a run across the near post here, but he gives himself 2 or 3 yards of space just by pulling away from the defenders, and that's exactly what happens. And when they realise just too late.
Templeton, the corner, Black's header, and this time it counts. Sebastien Faure, the big Frenchman, celebrates. And with good reason, it's his very first goal in senior football. 3-1 now.
That was Kai Naismith, I think, with the header. Once it comes back across, just there, Naismith gets on the end of it. Doesn't get clean contact, it's sort of hoofed off the line, not very well. It's got to be said. I think it's Jacobs, the right back, just sort of scoops it back straight out into the middle, 6 or 7 yards. Got to look for height there, height and distance.
The young players had proved themselves invaluable all season, making up the bulk of the playing squad, and more were rewarded with extended contracts, as Chris Hegarty, Fraser Aird and Scott Gallagher all put pen to paper on new deals. At the end of February, the SPL Commission, headed by Lord Nimmo Smith, decided the use of EBTs did not give Rangers an unfair advantage, but a fine of £250,000 was imposed on Oldco for breach of disclosure.
The result of the commission today has totally vindicated the entire club and the playing staff throughout that period. To have something like that levelled at you is pretty outrageous, and as I say, I'm just thrilled for all the fans, for the staff, and indeed, all the players, that a sensible outcome has been reached.
Results had been good throughout February, but it was the jinx team of Stirling Albion that prevented 4 wins in a row.
There is no time this time. Andy Little, the goalkeeper, doesn't know whether to stick a twist. Is it the opener? Andy Little! The Rangers spring the counter-attack. It's 22 for the season. David Templeton acknowledges the goal from a striker who right now is red hot. Addresses the ball, it's a teaser, it's a header, it's a goal. Now it's Forsyth with a free header. Again, poor defending at set plays is the undoing of Rangers.
The 20-point lead at the top of the table was maintained as people started looking ahead to the fixtures to see how soon the league could be wrapped up. With 2 comfortable wins already over East Stirlingshire, a home win was expected, and there was a welcome boost for the home support when Rangers legend Sandy Jardine, who had been battling cancer since November, made an appearance in the director's box and received a worthy standing ovation.
Stirling coming inside. Helped round the corner by Quinn, chased by Andrew Stirling, and he opens his scoring at Ibrox this afternoon. Good awareness, Wallace. Down goes Black, it breaks for Kyle Hutton. Argiriou's gone long. McCulloch picks him out. Templeton tries to take over. Anistis Argiriou! Andy Little! Well, Argiriou doesn't get the connection he wants, but Andy Little on the follow-up from close range makes it 23 for the season. Well, a long way to sealing 3 points. It's Templeton in that open roll now, plays it long. Lee McCulloch round the goalkeeper, there is no flag. A fitting return from the skipper. Welcome back, Captain Captain Fantastic. It's Rangers 2, Stirling 1. Now Lee McCulloch, 23 goals for the season. Andy Little, 23 goals for the season. Both players, of course, missed a huge chunk of the campaign with injury. As Little Rob Shepherd. McCulloch wants it in. Will he pass? Will he shoot? Andy Little wants it himself, and indeed gets the break he deserves. Andy Little, 2 on the day.
March turned out to be the toughest month of the season as the team struggled to break down resilient teams who were determined to get a result against the Ibrox Giants.
Spins in, no real pace on the ball. Sandaza! Pumped home by Andy Little. Rangers get the goal back.
Wallace. And the penalty is given as Lee Wallace goes to ground. And a chance now for Rangers to finally score. 23 goals this season for McCulloch, 4 of them against Elgin. Here comes McCulloch. And the captain shows the way. And Rangers really needed that because they were toiling somewhat.
Hemmings always on the move, finds a wee pocket of space there. Wallace goes beyond him, can he find him? Yes he can. Lee Wallace! A big save from Sam Fuller. He didn't go to ground early. Feeds it to the flank now. Here's Barry Mackay, pops it in again, Hemmings with a header! And he just lifts it over the top. Into Sebastian Forey, turned round the corner, Kane Hemmings, and he pulls it wide of the target.
Results elsewhere in the league meant that Rangers' lead still grew to 21 points, and it looked as though a draw against Montrose in the next game would be enough to get the Light Blues over the line, if Queen's Park also slipped up and claim the 3rd division.
Wallace. Templeton, well, he went for the spectacular, he'd moved into a more central position. Crawford following up but not able to get to it. It's a chance. Oh, it should have been. It's a corner kick. It's unlucky there for Lee Wallace. Templeton not had a touch so far in this second half. Arriving there now, and
with the Spiders losing to Elgin, Rangers were crowned champions with 5 games left to play, and it meant the pressure was off and the whole team could enjoy their visit to Hampden to take on 2nd place Queen's Park.
It was a difficult game, but it had its rewards at the end, and no matter what you do, when you win a league, you celebrate a league, and that day we won the league and it was great.
You know, at the start of the season, all you can ask your players to do is give you everything that they have in terms of playing and getting results and winning the league, and our boys did that, and for that they deserve enormous credit.
We finally got there in the end, but I think certainly started off quite slow, but we did adjust it after all, went on a good run, and that's obviously the job done now.
The mood in the camp was relaxed, but the demand for success is always there with the passionate Rangers support, and the players still prepared and remained focused on getting a result at Hampden.
fans have been amazing, unbelievable. I've been going to see Rangers for 50 years and this is the best support I've ever seen. I've enjoyed going to these games. It has been a carnival.
We can look back with a bit of pride from this season.
We'll bounce back bigger and stronger, and that's just a fact. It's just reality, how it is. Like we say, if we play in the street, we'll be in the club. You know what I mean? We'll be there for eternity, and that's it. And the more they put us down, the stronger we'll get.
I never doubted for a second that Rangers fans would back them. They've been terrific wherever they went. I'll continue to do so myself, and I'm just looking forward to the journey back up to the SPL.
I personally thought this was going to be a tougher journey than most expected. I think if you just look at cup ties, when we had teams worth millions of pounds, we would struggle at times. So I think it's just the first step in a long journey.
The atmosphere inside the stadium was joyous as the fans revelled in the league's success, and the celebrations off the pitch were joined with success on it.
Templeton hits it, and it's 1-0. Backward in, looking for McCulloch, finds it, tap in, 2-0. Very, very easy Fraser Egg. Defending to be done at the moment. Here's Kane Hemmings. Can he score? Yes, he can. Well, he finally gets his Rangers goal. Rangers got now, and they've got the ball. It's in there now, they've got the goal. 4-1.
In a brief break from league duties, Rangers welcomed Lindfield to Ibrox for a midweek friendly. Former Dungannon Swifts defender Hegarty got the opener against Northern Ireland's most successful club, who were playing at Ibrox for the first time.
Fraser Air just curls it in. There's a header! His first Rangers goal! The Copeland Cannavaro! Murder for Stoney, very direct, the youngster. Might yet fall, shooting chance, Andy Murder! It gets a bit of a deflection. It counts nonetheless. Oh, Rangers get a late second.
I think the night was just about, two great clubs coming together, and the friendship and the bond that
Linfield and Rangers have is, I think it's fantastic. To score the goal was, brilliant, over the moon. Like, I just couldn't believe it. I didn't even realise it scored, to be honest. It still hadn't kicked in, but putting on the captain's armband just put the cherry on top that night. That was the best feeling in the world. It's not every day you get the captain of Rangers, and it was amazing.
Rangers continued in winning ways by seeing off Clyde in front of a magnificent home support, who were still turning out in their thousands despite the league being secure. It was also the game that saw youngsters Luca Gasparotto and Danny Stoney being added to the list of Auchenhowie graduates that made it into the first team.
Templeton might be the option. Templeton takes over at the apex of the box, knocks it in. Tap in, Lee McCulloch! Rangers get the opener. Hutton plays it long for Templeton. Again, he just flicks it away to the back, Kraken McDonald. Looking for Hutton again, who's made a great forward run. Is there a goal for Kyle Hutton? There is! 2-0 Rangers! Well, it shows you persevere and you get your reward.
Behind the scenes, there were big changes in the boardroom. CEO Charles Green and Commercial Director Imran Ahmad parted company with Rangers. Craig Mather was appointed as Chief Operating Officer to carry on the running of the club.
McCulloch might get a half chance. He still might get a chance! Lee McCulloch!
Peterhead arrived at Ibrox on the back of 5 league wins, and the Blue Toons showed they meant business as Rangers lost for only the 3rd time this season.
That day was a poor day in front of a really good crowd again at Ibrox, and we let a lot of people down that day.
Rangers made it 4 wins out of 4 against East Stirlingshire at a sun-soaked Aho View. It was another reshuffled team, with late injuries forcing some last-minute changes. But a start for youngster Robbie Crawford saw him net his 4th goal of the season early in the game. 4 again, back to McCulloch, little ball forward. Templeton's finding space all the time. It's a nice ball over the top for Andy Little on the right-hand side. Crawford goes into the middle looking for the ball. Crawford! What a magnificent goal for Rangers! Ian Black is there. Here comes Templeton. Oh yes! What a magnificent goal from Templeton! He bent it round the wall superbly. Edge of the penalty area looking for Andy Little. Takes the return pass on his left foot. Across the face of goal! And Ian Black has scored to give Rangers the lead. Now a chance for Stoney. Loads of space. He's got McCulloch to his right. He's got Templeton to his left. He's going on his own. It's Danny Stoney opening his body, a little ball to the middle. McCulloch! Templeton now must be number 4, and it is! Well, they got there in the end, and it was all about the endeavour of young Danny Stoney. With the season drawing to a close, the players were recognised for their hard work during the winning campaign at the club's annual Player of the Year awards. And it was club captain Lee McCulloch who was chosen by the fans as the club's Player of the Year.
It feels great. Got to thank the fans that voted for me, first and foremost, obviously. But it's what a feeling that was going up on that stage and getting this great trophy with all the players that I've got in the past. And I think one of the first people over was Richard Goff, and to congratulate me, and that's a great feeling. People like that in the gaffer giving me the trophy, legends in their own right. So it's overwhelming, it really is, and it's a great feeling.
There were also awards for Lee Wallace, who was voted by his fellow teammates as Players' Player of the Year. Andy Little picked up the top goalscorer award. Lewis McLeod was voted Young Player of the Year despite his injury problems. And David Templeton also won Goal of the Season for his strike against Clyde. The fans were also rewarded with a special recognition award to thank them for their continuing support throughout the campaign. And Sandy Jardine was given the John Gregg Achievement Award in what has been an incredibly tough year for the club legend. The fans had been the lifeblood of the club all through the troubled times and followed the team from Berwick to Elgin, Ibrox to Peterhead. Their undying loyalty and support was unwavering. A special thanks goes to all those who followed Rangers the length and breadth of Scotland. Some even made a treacherous journey down the River Clyde from Lochgoilhead to make the last game of the season.
normally we go by minibus. In fact, a lot of the members of the supporters club are actually members of the water sport club as well. We decided that, well, why don't we go in a muster and take the boats? And that's where it started from.
We've started off a supporters club from Lochgoyle at the start of the season. We've been travelling by road, and as you can see, we stay in Lochgoyle, surrounded by water, and we've all got boats, so we thought it'd be a good idea for the end of the season for a big party to see us lift the league trophy, do a trip in a boat and get everybody out for Lochgoyle.
We planned it all. We did look ahead in the forecast, and the forecast wasn't too bad, but once you were out there, it was pretty rough. Ideally, it'd be a sunny day in August that we would do it, but we wanted to be down here for the title celebration, so that's why we went ahead with it.
We all love Rangers and Lochgoyle Head. We can't really get to so many games, so that's why we've started with supporters club, so hopefully we'll be regulars from now on.
Maybe 6 or 7 aren't season ticket holders, but we're always looking for 6 or 7 tickets for guys that come. Some of them come on a regular basis and buy tickets, but yeah, most of the time it's 6, 7, 8 tickets. We've got to get extra.
Season ticket for about 40 a year. I keep going to all the home games. Used to go to all the European ties as well, always like, you know what I mean? But we'll always be there. No matter what division we're in, we'll always be there.
Some of the away trips we've done has been great. Up to Peterhead, Elgin, Berwick, been long trips, but we've enjoyed every minute.
It's been an absolute hoot actually, it's been great coming down. Must have been, yeah, we'd love to do it again as well. As I say, the only thing, unfortunately, but that's a good thing, you've experienced that weather now, so on a calm day it'll be absolutely a joy.
Rangers completed their historic campaign in SFL3 with a 1-0 victory over Ian Little's Berwick on a memorable day at Ibrox. Over 50,000 fans again packed into the stadium, and they were ready for a party and to see the rightful winners presented with the 3rd Division trophy. The game was almost a formality, but the fans always want to win, and it was young Canadian Fraser Aird who delivered the winning goal.
Templeton had come inside, but he elects to feed it down the line for Mitchell. Good movement, Kyle Hutton. Templeton's gone central. Andy Little pops himself in as well as a target. Stein header! Fraser Aird! He times it to perfection. Great movement from Rangers. Mitchell down the line. Templeton goes central. Little comes near post. Creates the space for Fraser Aird. He stoops and nods it home. Rangers get the breakthrough. 32 on the clock. Rangers 1, Berwick Rangers 0.
Well, it's all about Kyle Hutton gambling to go forward there, Tom. Here he is on the left-hand side, picks it up, looks for his spot in the middle, delivers beautifully, and there's Aird diving to head the ball into the right-hand corner. A wonderful finish, a good piece of play, the best piece of play of the game, and Rangers have the lead.
Now Fraser Aird is 3rd of the season, and he shows it's just not for Queen's Park.
It was a very proud captain in Lee McCulloch that was presented with the trophy, and the crowd roared as he lifted the cup to the jubilant fans, and the celebrations could begin. Despite a difficult start, Rangers proved their worth throughout the season and ended the campaign 24 points clear of 2nd place Peterhead.
It's been a wonderful experience, you know, going to all these places. up to Montrose, up to Forest Mechanics in the Cup and things like that. It would certainly make a chapter in the book, but overwhelmingly friendly people and made us very, very welcome.
Abiding memory's just been the fun and acceptance you've had from all the towns we've visited. Places like Berwick, Montrose have been more than welcoming to the Rangers sport, and everyone seemed to have a good time.
It's been great. I'm really looking forward to getting into the second division, going again some more new places, meeting some more new friends, being welcomed in more new towns, and if it spreads the word the Rangers and what we really like as supporters, then all the better.
I've met new friends, created a lot of good impressions on people now. Rangers have been a breath of fresh air for them.
From the football point of view, I think Rangers have brought a new dimension to the lower tier of Scottish football. Our players particularly are basically overawed by coming here and playing, but they're excited about coming here and playing, and I'm sure that every third division club that comes here, their players take the same view.
Rangers have brought the lower levels of Scottish football, they've taken that to the wider world, and I don't think we've embarrassed anyone in that.
The little nuances of going around and following Rangers around the small clubs has been really heartening. Hugely impressed by the power of Rangers support and the way that Rangers fans are conducting themselves. They're bringing a colour and drama to the games, all of their own. So far the SFL clubs have been welcoming it.
5 seasons ago we were a non-league club, and we've been SFA members since 1978. Our dream was always to get through 3 or 4 rounds in the Cup to get a game at Ibrox. That's what, as a non-league side, that was always your dream.
And I would be very, very hopeful that in years to come I can get the opportunity to take our club back to the places where we've gone in the past, and so many great triumphs, and fallen once or twice as well, but that's what makes the man, and that's where we want to be.
It was a unique season, the likes of which no one at Rangers could ever have imagined, from total disarray pre-season and staring into the abyss. They were battered, bruised, but never beaten. A few loyal players returned to the club, many youngsters were drafted in and proved their worth. The youth teams from Auchenhowie had an equally successful season, landing the Reserve League and beating Celtic in the Glasgow Cup final. The fans flocked to the club they loved and packed Ibrox and many grounds around the country with crowds they could only dream of. The first stage of the journey might not have been as easy as some might have expected, but in the end, Rangers triumphed and won the third division convincingly. The spirit of Rangers has never shone so brightly. Now, the journey continues.